What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be talking about how the VEVE Batman Series 5 NFT drop burnt 500 million OMI tokens. But before we do this, if you enjoyed this video then consider dropping a like and subscribing if you're new around here. So the first I want to say is just a massive appreciation to the development team in what I believe was the most successful launch today in terms of the actual delivery of product and the quality of the NFT as well. I mean, they did a fantastic job, and I'll be touched on this a little bit later in the video. But also what I want to say is I'm going to be touching upon why we still see commons within the marketplace. I can understand why people are being scared if this is their first initial exposure to collectibles, but also understanding the type of collectors we've had within the VEVE marketplace initially. So I'm going to be touched upon that later on in the video. But the first thing I want to talk about right now is the actual OMI token itself. Now, we can see over 500 million OMI tokens were burnt within this particular Series 5 launch. Now, this to me just justifies and shows how incredibly well structured the tokenomics are and how well they synchronize between the OMI token and the VEVE application, because sometimes you can hear within the wider community how people are showing expression or expressing sort of their frustrations with the drop in price within the OMI token. But you have to consider that inside of this investment, our focus point as investors should be within the VEVE application itself. It is the VEVE marketplace and the success of the team and the development of the product and the delivery of products that is going to overall affect the OMI token long term. Now, you have to remember how early this marketplace actually is and where we are within the timeline of this development. You know, we are still within beta, and Dan touched upon this within the Clubhouse call the other day. I mean, we have sold nearly 600,000 different collectibles within its beta phase, in my opinion, justifying the demand within NFTs as a whole. We have to remember this when we look at the overall burn within OMI as well, is that for us to see a higher amounts of OMI burn and more collectors and more adoption within the NFT collectible market, within VEVE's collectible market, we need to see this increase in the delivery of product and the seamless drops. We need to see the increase within the quality of product and the detail. And we can see that within Rismo, the update of the animation. I think that was huge to see that they're already showing their intention to continue to upgrade and develop these NFTs. And when you consider that in relation to the OMI token, we have to remember that OMI is a utility token behind this project. It is not the focus area. And I think that's where the confusion lies sometimes, is that, you know, this is a collectible marketplace. And inside that lies, it's a different aspect of investing completely. It is different ultimately although it's a cryptocurrency fundamental structure, it's actually not, in my opinion, the focus area of this vision. It really is within the collector's market itself. And this is why you've seen the amount of licenses adopted. So I just thought I'd share that point with you, that, you know, the wider community really should be focusing on the triumphs within the application itself and how incredible this launch actually was in justifying, in my opinion, the long-term scope and vision behind where VEVE are going to go long-term and why this has been such an incredible launch. And the next point I want to touch on as well is that, you know, as of May the 5th, it's been 43,000 like unique purchases of gems within the application. Now, I think it's going to be more around 50,000. So we're looking at around 50,000 sort of active collectors within this marketplace, or people that have invested interest within it. Now, that is important to consider when we look at the overall OMI burn right now. You know, we want this to appreciate in value long term as investors. You know, that we all have invested interest in that. But for that to happen, we need collectors to adopt within the marketplace, and we need to see the continual efforts of the application and the usability within the application. So seeing what VEVE are doing and seeing what they have done within this launch, in my opinion, highlights a triumph. But 500 million OMI's token burn, and we're closing on 5 billion total, which is incredibly exciting now. Like I said, I just want to touch upon that sort of my appreciation to the community. We've seen this within our appreciation development team, and we can see that within VEVE sort of sharing this. It was just a triumph, this launch. You know, I was able to get in, I was able to purchase an ultra rare and a rare, which I'm incredibly excited about. It was very seamless. There was no lagging, no delays. I was able to click the ultra rare, purchase it, then I was able to come out and then buy my rare, and this happened within 30 seconds. It just shows what VEVE have done, the infrastructure and the development, they're learning from their lessons. And as investors of the OMI token, we have to consider that they are developing the team itself. Very important for this project long term is that they are continually working within the application, the development of the application. So I just want to extend my appreciation. I know my community and the wider community also share that same feeling. It's been an incredible launch and one incredible triumph from the team. And then the other point I want to touch upon before I jump into my final aspect of the numbers and the breakdown is the VEVE market as a whole. You know, they closed down the marketplace, which I thought, which is a really important aspect of this launch, the successful launch. If you're involved with the Dragon Girl launch, then you'll know that the main Achilles heel and the main issue was the marketplace being open and then the influx of demand into this sort of low edition run and worldwide launch. Now, there are many different aspects, and I touched on this in a previous video about why that launch was so in demand. But it's important that we see here that VEVE are learning. They're closing the marketplace down. They're willing to adapt in real time to these issues to continually develop and deliver products in a professional way. Now, I just want to make a point of this. I think the exchange here between having the marketplace down and having a smooth launch, I think justifies itself, and I'm more than happy to see the marketplace go down for a couple hours to see a smooth launch. So I just wanted to touch upon that. Now let's just jump into this, okay? Now, seeing commons still available is absolutely normal, okay? And I think for people need to understand this, and I'm going to make a whole video touching upon this, but I will briefly break this down for you now. In collectibles, what we are seeing within VEVE right now is not normal. We need to understand the audience that has come over into this application and their intention within the application as well, for you to understand why we're seeing this, okay? So a lot of the people that heard of VEVE heard of it through the OMI token and then came over into VEVE. And then this is where the flipping aspect of the marketplace sort of developed. Seeing people be able to buy any editions and flip them for profit is not normal within collecting. Collecting is a hobby and a project that appreciates over time, and we need to understand that when you look at the collectible market as a whole outside of VEVE. You know, what we're seeing and experiencing right now is a slowdown within the actual flipping aspect of the collectible marketplace. Okay, which is absolutely normal. It is a perfectly normal part of a sort of that cyclical nature within marketplaces. You can't expect parabolic prices all the time. And to see, and I'm going to touch upon this in another video, to see prices go below MSRP, that is just an aspect. It just justifies the kind of audience we have right now within the application, that they're buying to flip and sell off quickly. And then I also heard someone touch upon people buying gems at a cheaper price. Apparently that's been happening as well. So that could also justify where people are getting gems for less than $1 a time and then selling their collectible on for cheaper, but essentially profiting themselves. But my point and my main touching element here is that, you know, we want there to be inventory in the marketplace long term. You know, it has to be this way around. When we have new users come into this and when we understand the scope, the overall vision of where VEVE are going right now, and the small user base we have and the actual initial adoption of this user base and where their intentions lie, you know, we will see big influxes of users as their PR firm begin to sort of advertise and push these collectibles out to the wider audience. You've got to consider the fact that a lot of people that are buying these Batmans right now to flip probably don't have a huge interest in Batman, or they haven't heard of the VEVE platform or the collectible outside of the OMI token itself. That's because we haven't had a lot of external advertising. It's been the user base initially has come from the cryptocurrency market. But the wider community of collectors has no involvement with cryptocurrency. This is why VEVE created a platform where you don't even see the tokenomics working in the background. This is why it's such a powerful concept. They made it so that collectors can come into this space without even realizing it's got a cryptocurrency involvement. This is where the two marketplaces coincide and coexist. Very important to remember this when we think about what's going on with this and why the prices are beginning to level out. You know, I think a lot of the value is going to be driven in lower mint numbers. And you're already seeing this within the different aspects of collectors. And I'm just going to say this as well, is there are many different styles of collectors. Some people will get involved with this for the investment style of it, to see it appreciate. You'll have other aspects of people that get involved with this marketplace that just buy the NFT and don't care about the mint. They just want to have it. to enjoy it, to have fun with their kids, and they're not interested in that aspect of the collecting. And then you'll have other people that just express zero interest in the launch, full stop. They just do not have an interest in the Batman launch. But you've got to remember this, is that each individual launch caters to a different audience. And right now, there is no external PR happening. They are not advertising this to the wider audience of these different collectibles. So what you're finding is that we're actually playing within a very small pool of people. So the long-term scope of this hasn't played out yet. This is why they're slowing down, introducing larger brands or not larger brands, different brands into this, because they know they need to develop the products and the delivery of products and the quality of product first before allowing the wider collectible audience to come into this. I hope this is making sense. Try not to get that confused. And look, we saw this sell out within 15 seconds. $341,000 in less than 15 seconds. The demand does not slow down. It's just the marketplace is evolving and maturing. And overall, the flippers within this marketplace are probably starting to sort of fizzle out. But you see this in any collectible marketplace, and it's important to remember this. So, and I'm going to make a video touching upon this fully. I'm going to make a real breakdown and really go into the psychology behind collecting and why this is really not a problem long term. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you found this useful, please drop a like and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you being here and the continued support within my journey within VEVE and my YouTube career. So, thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.